Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to the boat gang. All right, we got the Oxi-digger, Oxidean Marine, 34-inch, ready to run outrigger on the block. Today we're going to be replacing the drive dog, and it's actually kind of an overlooked aspect of your boat build that I think is actually pretty important. Okay, we got a few different options here. I'm going to kind of go over in detail with some props, kind of show you guys the differences in a few different ones and my thoughts on them. Okay, so stick around. Big B, we're Ironclad RC. So let's get to it, you guys. Let's get to it. All right. This boat's freaking awesome. Okay. Oh, man. It's freaking awesome. It's blazing fast, boy. And I really hadn't opened it up yet. You know, I've been running the boat with its initial tune I put on the boat when I pulled it out the box. And I hadn't really touched it. So I've been working on the ride surface. Okay. Getting everything like sanded and re-epoxied, you know, sealed. And I've had it on the bench for, I don't know, about 2 or 3 days. Been working on it like dead ahead. Hence the reason I got my sponsons so close to the tub so I can use my digital angle box. I got my AOAs all like perfect, you know, side, you know, across. It's all like on the money. Okay, I'll go over that in another video. When I reset the boat up. Today we're basically going to focus on the drive dog. The reason I'm focusing on the drive dog is the boat had some hop. When I would like give it full trigger, when it's wound out at its like top speed, I noticed that she would want to kind of hop in the transom. Okay, like that number there. It also wants to like, with that 1716 prop right here I was running, it would actually like prop walk and veer real bad. That's a whole other topic. We're going to try to like fix that later on. It's probably going to take some time to get that worked out. I got a couple ideas. So drive dog, okay, which is this little critter right here. All right. On this boat, we're actually running a Z style strut. Okay, it's got a square barrel. Okay, it's squared, and if you'll notice, the drive dog is a little bit bigger than the barrel on our strut. You guys see that? Okay, so when you're ordering your drive dog, get you a feeler gauge, is what I call it, micrometer, whatever, okay, ruler, whatever, okay, find the diameter or the width of your strut. Okay, in my case, it's 8 millimeters, okay, got an 8 millimeter strut. All right, the stock drive dog at its largest point, which is what I was worried about, is right at, well, 10 millimeters. All right, 10 millimeters. So that's 2 millimeter difference. Okay, my smallest drive dog is 7.6, which is smaller than 8 millimeters. That's acceptable to me, 7.5. Our largest straight drive dog, which I'll go over in just a second, is 8.8. That's 7.7 millimeters larger than our strut. So that's no bueno, okay? So, you know, usually when you order from most distributors, they have the outside diameter of your drive dog. Just use that in conjunction with your strut, period. All right, the rest of the video, it's just for those of you who care. All right, so I got my cable out, pretty simple, okay, and as you guys seen, the drive dog's bigger than the strut barrel. All right, so let's kind of go into some different options for drive dog. And I hope I don't have you guys like zoomed in too much. These things are really small, they're kind of shiny, and it really don't like focusing on this stuff. So now when you're drive dog shopping, I guess you want to take your strut diameter into consideration, your stinger diameter, and the hub diameter on the propellers that you run. Okay, these ABC props have like a smaller hub, so I would recommend like a smaller drive dog for the smaller hub propellers, or a tapered drive dog similar to this one if you're running like a larger diameter strut or stinger similar to this TFL stinger. Okay, it's got a large diameter and the drive dog isn't sticking out past the diameter of your stinger. Okay, you feel me? And that actually tapers down so you can run a nice streamlined setup with a smaller diameter prop. Okay, if you run a lot of larger diameter props, this will work, but it's not quite as streamlined as it would be running the smaller hubbed propellers. You guys see the difference there? See how streamlined that is? And with the larger hub, not so much. Okay, which, you know, that little bit right there, it's not really going to matter, especially right on the propeller. I think it does matter in this configuration right here with the drive dog larger than your strut. Okay, so you have a rear tapered drive dog and you have a forward tapered drive dog. Okay, you guys see that? See how the tapers up forward? Okay, now I've noticed with a forward tapered drive dog, like you can see here, okay, those actually have or will have less contact with your stinger or strut when or if your cable shrinks. Okay, when the cable shrinks under load, you know, it contracts and your drive dog will get butted right up against your strut. Hence the reason why we run Teflon washers, thrust washers. Okay, these are pretty nice. Okay, you could actually get different size, small, large. You can get different size aft facing tapers, small, large, etc. But these are pretty nice because it gives you a little bit of leeway, and it, you know, instead of like with this guy, like, you know, that big blunt edge on your strut, if you were running an oversized drive dog, it you know, you see how blunt it is aft of the strut. Okay, this one right here, if it were the same size drive dog, it would be a little more hydrodynamic. Okay, not going to create any drag or erratic handling. Okay, like I said, you can get large and small options of the forward taper as well as this guy right here, and then you have just the, you know, regular like straight cut small, medium, large drive dog. I think this is a large for 3/16. This is a small for 3/16. Yeah, so let's pick out the one we're going to use. Okay, now the only downfall to using these real small ones, all right, the only downfall to using these little guys right here opposed to a larger diameter drive dog is they actually have their weak point. Okay, and it's normally where your grub screw screws in and sets into the flat spot. As you can see, I've cracked not one, not two, not three or four. I've cracked dozens of these smaller drive dogs. All right, you guys see this one right here has got a crack in it right there, and that's no bueno. Okay, now the solve for that, okay, so you got to figure when you put your propeller on your drive dog and the boat's, you know, turning the prop, you know, you blipping the throttle, boom, boom, you know, going crazy on it. That's a lot of pressure being put on the drive dog. Actually, a lot of pressure being put on the grub screw. Okay, so whenever I install these smaller diameter steel, stainless steel, brass drive dogs, whether it's 1/8, 4, or 3/16, I always use red Loctite around the circumference of my stub shaft, red Loctite on the grub screw. Okay, what that red Loctite does is it takes all the load off that one grub screw, and it kind of distributes the load from the propeller onto the full diameter, inside diameter of your drive dog. You feel me? So it's not, all the load's not just being put on that one guy right there. When you red Loctite, it kind of distributes the load. You feel me? So you don't have cracked drive dogs quite as often. All right, so that being said, hopefully you guys stepping in what I'm putting out. All right, so my two options. This is my two options. I was thinking about running this guy right here. Okay, the forward tapered drive dog, the small forward taper. Like I said, I would rather for you know, while the boat's running, the water's coming off the ride pad, off the strut, that direction. I'd rather for it to be smaller than larger. Okay, so I was thinking about running this small tapered or this guy right here. I think I'm going to go with this one only because it's new. This right here, I've gotten about a season on this drive dog. It's still good, and but you know, the nice thing about these is, like I said, is it has very little in contact with the strut in the case of your cable contracting, shrinking, and your drive dog rubbing on the strut. Okay, it's more in contact with these flat ones. And so yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. So let's go ahead and get this guy off. I'll let you guys go. Wow, a short video turned into a long one real quick. So Oxidean, most manufacturers red Loctite their drive dogs, so you're gonna need to use heat. Not too much, okay? Just heat it up there, and I'll use this guy right here, okay? If you strip out like a, what is that, a 2.5, I guess. If you strip that out, you can actually use star bits. This is a T9 star bit, which is the same, okay? If you strip it out, you can use that T9 right there, and actually it'll give you a little bit more bite than an Allen, okay? Just for future reference, okay? Or you can use a screw extractor. That was hot. Wow. I'm an idiot. Okay, so let me put that on something that's not going to melt. All right, so we got our drive dog off. Clean my shaft before I put my drive dog on to ensure that we get a good hookup with the red Loctite, okay? And let's see, which one is it? Did it roll off? Where is it at? There it is. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this this grub screw. This is an Octura small. I'll have a link in the description. All right. It actually takes a 0.05 Allen. Okay, so I'm gonna take the grub screw out. All right, we got our red Loctite here. Okay, and what I do is I just put a little bit in the drive dog. I put some on my shaft. All right, like that. I go kind of crazy, especially with these smaller ones, okay? And then I kind of spin my drive dog onto the shaft. Pretty easy, not too hard, all right? And what I'm going to do is line that. I'm going to go ahead and line up my drive dog on the flat spot, okay? I'm going to put some more red Loctite on it. Like I said, this is going to disperse the load being put on this small steel drive dog so it don't crack, okay? Then we're going to run that in, okay? Make sure it's on the flat spot. I always push my drive dog to the back part of the flat spot, okay? Because when you put your propeller on, all right, tighten it down. When it's on the back part of that flat spot, it'll kind of bottom out. Okay, when you put your nut on, it's not gonna like push your drive dog up onto your strut or stinger. You feel me? So we don't want to red Loctite our prop on there, which I've actually done. Make sure it's flat on the flat spot, and then just tighten it down using red Loctite, so you really don't have to like Gorilla Tight it. If you Gorilla Tight it with these smaller ones, I think that's where I went wrong with these guys right here. You know, I didn't use red Loctite and I Gorilla Tighted it. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what happened. Just too much stress on it. So I got it cinched down there pretty good. All right, pretty good. And you know, you guys are probably like, damn, be a 10-minute long video just for a freaking drive dog. But it's you know, it's more than just throwing a drive dog on there. You know, it really is. You got to really think about this stuff. You know, it's a thinking man's hobby, like I've said before. Okay, so we got our drive dog on. All right, let's go ahead and wipe it off. Get all that red Loctite off so we don't red Loctite our prop on there and had to heat up a beryllium prop, which weakens things. Okay, so we're gonna slide it back in. I'm not gonna grease it up or nothing because I gotta do some tuning. Okay, so we got it slid back in. All right, we're gonna make sure. Yep, you see that? Okay, you guys see that? Let's see. I'm gonna use this guy right here just as a reference for you. Okay, you guys see it's smaller than our strut. Okay, hydrodynamic. Okay, like I said, I'll be running these ABC props. All right, we're gonna put our ABC prop on, and we got a nice fit, nice streamline flow of water, not being interrupted or disturbed before it hits the propeller. You feel me? See how much more hydrodynamic it is than the larger drive dog we originally had on the boat. Okay, now this drive dog's much shorter than the original drive dog, so when we run our propeller with the drive dog pushed all the way forward on the flat spot, we're going to need to shim it up. Okay, so what I've found works really good, and it helps keep the bullet nut on, are aluminum 3/16 washers. Okay, I use them as shims. Well, spacers, I guess. Aluminum washers, and the aluminum is soft and it actually helps grab onto your bullet nut. Okay, which, by the way, I don't really like bullet nuts all that much. I used to run them, and then I stopped running them, and then I got a bunch of them sent to me, and I used them, and I lost a lot of props. Props that I've spent, $30 on the prop and countless hours preparing. So I don't use bullet nuts anymore, and if I do happen to use a bullet nut, I Loctite the bullet nut onto my shaft. Okay, if I do a prop change in the field and I don't Loctite it, or the Loctite doesn't have time, I'll blue Loctite it. It doesn't have time to set up, I'll actually use aluminum washers or lock washer, okay, in between your prop and your bullet nut, so they don't back off and gorilla tight these things on there. You don't want to lose a prop, man. It's an investment, okay? So I actually like using these Zubber nuts. Hey, that's a 4mm. It's why didn't I freaking notice that? 3/16 shaft, step down to 4mm M4 thread. I was gonna say use a Zubber nut, but my 3/16 Zubber nut does not fit the 4mm shaft. So let's see where, I know I got one around here somewhere. 4mm nylon locking nut. Where is it? Where is it? Jeez. Okay, so this is a 4mm nylon locking nut. I trust these a little bit more than I do a bullet nut. Okay, so I'm going to use that guy right there. I've lost props with nylon locking nuts. Okay, so just be careful. All right, just be careful. Get it all cinched down. All right, and you should have you a nice streamline setup. Okay, you guys see that? Nice streamline. You see how my grub screw is recessed? It's not sticking up past my drive dog like that. Okay, I make sure all my boats run a flat grub screw. Okay, it might scrub a little, half a mile an hour, might scrub a whole mile, might scrub 2 miles an hour with your grub screw sticking out like that. Okay, just, if you do have a grub screw sticking out like that, just well, that ain't the right size. Just take it on your Dremel or a file down this spot right here, which I've already done on this one. See how it's flat? It actually locks down on your flat spot real nice, and it will actually, you might have to go back 2 or 3 times, just kind of file it, sand it, grind it, so that she cinches down flat. Okay, and I've actually taken If I had a little bit sticking up like that, I've actually taken a file and just rounded, just kind of rounded once it's all Loctite, and just kind of rounded it so it blends into my drive dog, so it's not like, you know, you know. All right, so hopefully you guys learned something. I did not mean for the video to be this freaking long. Just such a simple little guy could add or take away performance in your boat. Okay, so we're going to get this boat back on the water here shortly. Before we do, I'm going to go over my AOA and all that. You know, all the work I've been doing on the ride surface. Got it all perfect. It's perfect. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps you guys out.